Hey everyone, this is Farouk and Naman's 3651 Prototyping Intelligent Devices final project, the Stringless Violin. Now I'm going to demonstrate a song you guys might recognize.
So now I'm going to show you guys how our violin actually works. As you can see here, our violin has some basic components. First, we have our Arduino on the bottom. Then we have our soldered proto board that has our speaker circuit on it. Next, we have our speakers, and we also have the batteries that power our entire violin. There's three main components to our violin. We have our bow with an accelerometer. We have our joystick, which controls how high our volume is that we're currently playing, based on how hard the bow is pressing it. And then we also have our frets, which control exactly what note we're on. Our bow has an accelerometer on it that helps us control exactly what virtual string we're on. I'm going to hold down the joystick so that you can hear the volume and you can hear us cycling through the different virtual strings. Our joystick controls the amount of volume we're emitting based on how hard the bow is pressing it. I'm going to demonstrate this now.
I'm now going to talk about the logic that we use behind our fretting. So each of these frets are actually a capacitive touch sensor with two wires that are amplified by a Darlington pair. When you put a finger on them, your finger forms the other base of a capacitor and it allows current to flow. Now I'll demonstrate the actual variation that we can get in notes by climbing these hand positions. So now I'm going to talk about how we actually manufactured this. Originally, we had the idea of having the wood plate and the acrylic top. To manufacture the wood, we first designed it in Illustrator and then laser cut the wood. Originally, it had a very natural finish, but we wanted to stain it to give this kind of rich wooden color. So we sanded it, we cleaned it, and then we stained it. We repeated the process for the bow and then for the acrylic top, which was just laser cut.
We encountered a lot of problems during our project, but we're really grateful that we were able to solve all of them. One of our problems was actually in our soldering. So when we soldered our circuit onto our proto board, we noticed that a lot of the wires we were using were actually really thin. And what ended up happening was that a lot of our wires kept ripping once we were trying to assemble it on our Arduino as well. So in order to fix this, we really had to refine our soldering, ensure that it was really perfect, and also in some cases, replace wires to make them have thicker gauge. Another challenge that we actually encountered was also the wood staining process. So as you may know, wood staining actually takes a long time. So we were able to actually overcome this issue with short turnaround times by being able to stain multiple pieces at once.
So another challenge that we faced was with our accelerometer bow angles. Originally, we did angle tracking and pose estimation. However, after hooking up the full circuit, there were a lot of different challenges in actually calibrating the accelerometer to do proper pose tracking. In the end, we decided to use the natural acceleration due to gravity in the y direction, such that whatever angle the bow is at relative to gravity, we would be able to get the correct angle and decide what string the violin plays. Another challenge that we faced was actually the note progressions on the frets. We had to make the notes actually reasonable and learnable, because if there were progressions that didn't naturally make sense, you wouldn't be able to learn this instrument in any reasonable amount of time. Normal violins have 8 notes on each string. However, as you can see, we only have 3 different possible frets. Because they're done independently, you can actually generate more pairs, in reality 2 to the 3 or 8 different possible combinations of pressing these different frets. The current note progression involves open notes, or involves whole notes happen when you touch either none of the strings or an individual string, whereas sharp notes or flat notes are played when you press 2 pairs of strings or all 3 together. Does anyone recognize this song?
I know I'm not as good as Naman at playing this violin, but I still had a ton of fun working on this project, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Thank you.